everybody. I know it's been a bit since I recorded a video. Just life getting in the way, and mental health hasn't been the best with this whole like quarantine corona thing, so just kind of been trying to take it easy, but I thought it was time to record a new video, so here I am. I kind of wanted today to talk about shoujo manga in particular. I have some recommendations for people who might not necessarily, like, shoujo is not their go-to. Like, they're like, you know, I don't know, think it's all like kissy girly stuff, which it's not. Well, it is sometimes, but there's a whole lot more to it too. And so I just want to talk about some series that I would recommend if someone who doesn't normally read shoujo were to ask me for recommendations. So here we go. First one that comes to mind is Yona of the Dawn. It's like one of the most popular shoujos right now, but it's not like your girly lovey, you know, kiss kiss fall in love type thing. Like, there's definitely romance in it, but it's not like the main focus of the manga. Like, the main focus of the manga is she's a princess who has been basically exiled from her homeland, and she is fighting to do what's right for her people and get herself back on the throne, possibly. I don't know, they don't really have like a concrete goal, I realize, but they want to right the wrong that has been done to her, and that's what the manga, that's the core of the manga. So I mean, it's set in it's like a historical manga, so like, there's a war going on. Like, I mean, there's all these different countries. I don't think, of course, they don't have like a handy dandy little map at the beginning of each volume, but there's like all these countries, and they're feuding with each other. There's all these clans that are feuding with each other within the one country. Like, there's so much more going on than just like, oh, there's a love story, like kiss kiss, like, which, don't get me wrong, I love that. Like, I love shoujo like that, but there's also, you know, like, and I won't flip through this one because this is 24, so it'll spoil a lot, but you know, even just like from the covers, you can tell that it's not your typical shoujo manga. So I mean, she has a bow, she's a badass female, you know, character. She's got her bodyguard who is fucking badass. Like, I'm bad. And then, so like, this is another cover, and this is literally just like, they're going to war. Like, this is not your like cuddly whatever shoujo. So yeah, but I mean, it's cute too. Like, they've all these cute characters, and like, it's a wonderful balance of humor, a serious plot line, romance. Like, it has a little bit of everything, and it just kind of works really, really well. So Yona is one of my #1 recommendations on that. The next series is kind of in a similar vein, and I've only just started reading it. Only 2 volumes are out right now, but it's Prince Freya. And so basically this one is about a girl who looks like the prince of the kingdom that she lives in, and something happens to the prince, and she needs to take his place and basically be the figurehead for the kingdom. And she has, you know, all of the princes, like knights and everything, helping her out and those kind of things. And she has a very similar growth, like character growth, to Yona, where she kind of starts out as like the afraid little girl, and then she just kind of like is slowly finding her badassery. So and I think that's a trademark for shoujo. Like, I think a lot of people think that shoujo manga is like, oh, this weak little female character needs somebody to protect her, and that's the vast majority of shoujo is not like that. These are badass females that are getting, like, kicking ass and taking names. Like, they, you know, they can start off, but that's one of the wonderful, beautiful things is, like, they start off, you know, maybe you're like, oh my gosh, this girl, she's just crying all the time. Like, I don't like it. But then they just kind of hit their stride, and they grow so much. Like, watching the character development, especially of these 2 characters, like, they start off as just like these whiny little girls, and then they just become ultimate badasses. Like, it's, you know, Freya's, she's not quite there yet, but she's definitely getting there. Like, I can definitely see that the plot is going that way. And one of the trademarks of that makes shoujo so great is like these powerful female characters. And yeah, which, I mean, regardless of your age, gender, whatever, any character that can like pick themselves up from like the lowest point and then drag themselves to this greatness, like, it doesn't even matter that they're female. Like, I only just mentioned female because, you know, I think a lot of the like assumptions about shoujo is that they're all just like cry little, you know, little crybabies that want a man to come save them, and that's not what it is at all. Most of the time they're saving themselves, and then they're just like, oh, but I also have this cute guy, which, I mean, who doesn't want that? So the next one I have is Queen's Quality. It starts out as QQ Sweeper, so that's why I have this one. There's a 3-volume series of QQ Sweeper, and then it goes to Queen's Quality after that, and I think it's currently on like volume 9. So this one's it's a lot darker than a lot of shoujo. Like, it very much focuses on, so basically they're called sweepers, and they basically go into people's minds that are having like rough mental times, and they clean them. So basically what happens is they go into like the world of the mind, and like the mind has been infested with bugs. And I mean, these things are terrifying. Like, some of the imagery, let me see if I can find like I mean, this is not your typical shoujo where you have like things like this popping up. I mean, it's like there's terrifying stuff going on. Like, it's really dark, really like nitty-gritty, and it's a really, really good story. And I mean, there's romance in there, but it's very much takes a back seat. And yeah, like, see, this is creepy. Like, would you really expect to see this? Like, this is like almost like borderline horror sometimes. Like, it's creepy, but it's such a good story. It has such a great focus on like mental health, and like, you know, how, you know, you have to keep your mind clean, and, you know, in order to be thriving mentally. And so they're helping people who can't get the cleaning done on their own, kind of thing. Like, it's such a great metaphor for mental health. And so that's why I will always recommend it to just about anybody. It's such a good series. It has lots of action. It has a little bit of romance if you're looking for that. Like, it's really, really, really good. And I'm so glad that we have it in English. And yeah, like, even like the back is like, but the art's really pretty too. And it has really good, like, it's a really good series. And I think anyone would enjoy this one. Like, it's, you know, I feel like shoujo has a very like, people are like, oh, well, it's just romance, like stories for girls, like kind of thing. And I'm just like, it's so much more than that. Like, it's one of my favorite genres. Like, yeah, sometimes I am looking for the like, you know, fluffy, you know, kiss kiss fall in love stuff, but not always. Like, I want, like, I love the mixture of, you know, oh, we have like this, you know, underlying plot, but there's also a little bit of romance mixed in. And so that's basically what these 3 are. And you know, they have really kick-ass female leads, and then they have equally kick-ass like male leads, and they're all great. And I think anyone could enjoy them. Yona has a anime, so if you're really undecided about it, like, you know, hit up one of the streaming services and watch the anime to see if you would like it. But, you know, I definitely recommend all these for that. And then I have a few that are more slice of life, not necessarily high school, but more slice of life ones. And so the first one is I think it's categorized as a josei, but I'm not completely sure. It might even be shonen, I don't know. I highly doubt it, but it's Watakoi, Love is Hard for an Otaku. And this basically focuses on, they're adults, like they work in an office together, and but they're both well, he's not secretly an otaku, but she is. And then they just kind of, they're childhood friends, and they just kind of like start a romance, because he's like, well, you can't find a good guy, so why don't you try me, like, kind of thing. And it's like the cutest series, and it's so freaking relatable if you are any kind of otaku. Like, if you're reading manga, you're gonna like this. So there's a little bit of everything for everyone. Like, the two female leads are kind of obsessed with like BL, and then there's just like the male leads just like rolling their eyes at them, like, kind of thing. It's really cute. And once again, it's something that I feel like anyone like could enjoy. So there's also an anime for this. I think it's only available like on Amazon Prime or something, so it's a little bit harder to get access to, but definitely 100% recommend. It's not a fluffy love story. It's hilarious. Like, it has its cute moments, but it's mostly just comedy and hilarity and really, really relatable. So there's that one. And then I'm actually gonna save this one for last because it's like my ultimate recommendation. Next we have Hatsuharu. So this is it's a pretty new shoujo from Yen Press, and it follows Kei. So Kei is Kai. His name is Kai. I'm sorry, I was like, I'm saying his name wrong. His name is Kai. So it's from the perspective of a male, and I love male-led shoujo. Like, it is so funny to watch the guys like sweat over the girls. And I think a lot of the times, you know, people would find it a lot more relatable. Like, it's not sitting there going like, oh my gosh, these feelings, like, he's so cute. He's like, oh my god, why am I attracted to her? Why? Like, I don't understand. And he's just like, I think I'm falling in love with her. What? Why? I hate her. No. And it's like, it's really cute to watch him like fall into like all these pitfalls of love and like get all anxious when normally you see the girl's side of it, where I feel like that's to be a little bit more expected. But, you know, I'm sure guys get, you know, I can't say I'm not a guy, but like, guys get embarrassed too. They get flustered. Like, anyway, I recommend this one a lot. It has a lot of interesting plot themes that I think would be interesting to just about anybody. And it also follows, he has a group of friends, and so does the girl, and it follows all of them as they kind of weave their way through their love life. So yeah, this one's a definite recommend. There's one that is not out in English. It's called Rainbow Days, which is also in the same vein. It's male-led shoujo, and I highly recommend that one as well. I really wish we would get it licensed and printed, but, you know, here's hoping for the future, I guess. And then we have this one, and there's a lot of shoujo that fit in this category, but I don't necessarily own, or they aren't licensed, kind of thing. But Waiting for Spring, it's very, very romance focused, but it's also insanely focused on the characters. They are basketball players, the majority of them, and so there's a very, very distinct sports plot line as well. So, and it focuses just as much on the sport as it does on the romance for the most part. And so, and what, you'd have to read it to understand, but like, they both go hand in hand with each other, the romance and the basketball, and it's very, very cute. And this is one of my absolute favorite series ever. Like, I would recommend it to just about anybody. Like, I really don't care who you are. I'm gonna be like, you need to read this series. But so Waiting for Spring, there's a lot of other sport, like kind of sport focused manga out there that aren't necessarily licensed though. I have Wake Up Sleeping Beauty, which I know I've talked about in some of my other videos, which has a slight soccer plot line in it as well. I honestly probably should have brought it down for this, but my Fruits Basket shrine is up where it is, and I didn't want to ruin it to take it down. So, but Wake Up Sleeping Beauty is also a good one. It has that one is good. It has a soccer plot line in it, as well as a like mental health and supernatural like plot line as well, and so it just kind of covers like all my bases. But yeah, Waiting for Spring, give it a shot. I think you might like it. all the boys are really cute and hilarious, and there's a lot of boys being boys type things in it. So it's not just, you know, oh, blah, blah, like kiss, kiss, fall in love. Speaking of kiss, kiss, fall in love, Ouran High School Host Club, which is my #1 pick for shoujo you might like if you're not into shoujo. So, yeah, it's so many people, I think they get put off by the title, like Ouran High School Host Club. Literally what this manga is, there's barely any romance in it. Like, I don't understand where people are like, oh my gosh, it's so, like, you know, girly and romantic. I was like, it's literally teenage boys running around being stupid teenage boys, but make it rich. So, and Haruhi is the main character, but she is very, like, she acts like a dude. Like, she does not, like, she's not feminine, she is not anything, and she's just like, oh my god, leave me alone to these guys. Like, they're always like, because they basically trick her into being in their host club, and she's just like, no, nah, I'm good, thanks, like, kind of thing. And then they're like, no, 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 you have to, because you broke this vase, like, kind of thing. This manga and anime is so old, I'm sure people know that plot line, but it's literally just high school kids doing ridiculous things. They're all rich, so they can get away with just about whatever. And so, like, and then, you know, as it goes on, it develops into a more serious plot line from time to time. And I mean, it's just like freaking goofy ass little faces. Like, you know, like, yeah, this is what I would recommend. I've been trying to get my husband to watch this forever. Like, I'm like, you will love it, you will think it's hilarious, and he keeps refusing to, but one of these days I'm going to trick him into it, because it's hilarious, it's so funny. And, you know, I think the title does put off a few people. I will admit that it put me off at first. Like, I was like, I'm not going to watch this, like, it sounds weird, and it is kind of weird, but it's insanely good. Like, it's one of the best series out there, and I would put it up on, like, I also should have had Fruits Basket down here, but I feel like everybody knows about Fruits Basket and knows that it's like one of those that will overreach. It reaches everyone versus it being just a, you know, shoujo manga. And I think this one deserves to be put up on that pedestal as well, because anybody who watches this can enjoy it, can find something to love about it. It's just goofy boys being goofy, and, you know, there's all sorts of funny stuff in it, and, you know, it's, I just think if everybody gave it a chance, I think it would be on the same level as Fruits Basket is. So, so yeah, those are my recommendations for shoujo that, you know, somebody who might want to read shoujo but is kind of on the edge might want to read. And yeah, I mean, shoujo has kind of been a hot topic for a little bit. Like, I feel like it comes up a lot on Twitter because we're not seeing as many titles getting licensed and printed in shoujo as we are in shonen, which I mean is normal, but at the same time it seems like every year we're getting less and less and less. And I don't like preaching about demographics. Like, I want every manga to get the love that it deserves. Like, I'm trying really hard. I'll admit, like, when I first started reading manga, I had prejudices where I was like, oh, I'm definitely not going to like this. I'm definitely not going to like this. But I'm learning to let some of that go and give series chances that I might not have given them. And so I'd be like, oh, well, I really won't like this. But then, like, my friend's like, oh, but I think you should really give it a try. You might really like it. And I'm like, okay, maybe I will. And I'm like, but I don't normally like this kind of thing. And then they're like, well, give it a shot. So I don't see why the same, I mean, we all have those series where we're like, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna like this. Or like we watch it as a joke or something, you know, and then we're like, oh my gosh, I love this. Like, I have series that I was like, I'm not gonna like that. That's stupid. I'm not gonna like it. And then I like watched it as a joke. legit one of my favorite series now. Like, and so I think we all have series like that. And so I don't see why the same thing can't be done for shoujo. Like, so many, and I hate to say it, but guys in particular are like, oh, shoujo is just romancy, like gross, blah, blah. And I'm just like, give it a shot. Like, I mean, I got my husband to watch Your Name, cried like a freaking baby at the end of it. Like, he was just like, oh my gosh, like, he was like, it's so good. And I was like, okay, so why won't you watch, like, read or watch any other, like, romance anime with me, like, kind of thing. And so I just want, like, okay, shoujo, shonen, let's put it all aside. I want to challenge you to watch something or read something that you might not normally read but has been recommended to you.